It's the strength of quiet focus. Let me share something crucial. Your greatest error right now is obsessing over others' perceptions. You're exhausting yourself, justifying choices, validating decisions, chasing endorsement, and demonstrating value while draining the vitality needed to construct your desired reality. It's time to cease this pattern. Here's what matters. You owe nobody justification for self-improvement. You needn't broadcast intentions. Permission for growth isn't required. Simply concentrate, implement, and remain quiet. Broadcasting aspirations to others may appear beneficial. We're frequently taught that vocalizing creates powerful momentum. Yet revealing plans prematurely often becomes your most significant error. The instant you share dreams, you invite perspectives, uncertainties, Massachusetts, and needless interference that can sabotage advancement before commencement. When announcing major objectives, you anticipate enthusiasm and support. That's not always delivered. Instead, you might encounter suspicion, disapproval, or complete disinterest. Someone may question, can you really accomplish that? Or state, that seems incredibly challenging. Even without malicious intent, their statements plant uncertainty seeds. Suddenly, you're questioning everything, wondering if they're correct, if it truly is overwhelming, if you lack necessary qualities. Your former confidence and enthusiasm begin dissolving. A psychological element operates here too. Research demonstrates that discussing objectives triggers small dopamine releases, identical rewards received from actual accomplishments. This creates artificial achievement sensations. You feel satisfied merely by discussing plans, reducing likelihood of genuine action. Massachusetts, the gratification from saying, I'll launch a business, deceives your mind into believing progress occurred without taking initial steps. Another validation seeking is shifting focus toward external approval rather than internal motivation. When sharing objectives, you subconsciously seek reassurance from others. You want people declaring, that's incredible, you'll excel. But what happens when reactions disappoint? If responses lack expected enthusiasm, self-doubt emerges. This transforms self-driven motivation, approval-dependent motivation, dangerous because validation-fueled drive crumbles when support disappears. Beyond this, not everyone deserves hearing your plans. Some people project personal fears and limitations onto you. They might lack self-belief, struggling to believe in others. Sharing dreams with wrong individuals risks absorbing their negativity. If they wouldn't take risks themselves, they'll convince you against taking them. Their doubts reflect their fears, not your potential. Without caution, their words reshape your mindset. Stop justifying yourself. Recognize that discussing objectives can feel productive, but reality doesn't change until action occurs. Energy spent explaining plans to others could fuel actually starting work. Instead of discussing ambitions, channel that vitality into taking first steps. Want to write? Don't discuss it. Begin writing. Want fitness? Don't announce it. Appear at the gym. Massachusetts, let actions speak more powerfully than words. Keeping objectives private protects them. You create sanctuary where vision remains safe from negativity, judgment, and distractions. This allows complete focus on work rather than perception. Less talking means more doing. More doing creates more progress. Not everyone supports your journey. Harsh truth requiring acceptance. When deciding to elevate, modify habits, or pursue challenging goals, you assume surrounding people will encourage you. Massachusetts, that's not always reality. Some will question, others will minimize progress, and few will actively discourage you. Why? Your growth makes them uncomfortable. Massachusetts, when you improve your life, you force others to confront their stagnation. That's difficult for many to accept. If you're changing, it highlights their lack of change. If you're acting, it reminds them of their procrastination. Instead of inspiration, many feel threatened. Rather than cheering, they'll criticize. It's not because you're wrong. You're challenging how they see themselves. Safeguard your vitality. This makes protecting energy crucial. Daily, you choose where to invest mental, emotional, Massachusetts, and physical energy. Without care, you'll spend more time defending decisions than making progress. You'll engage in arguments with people who don't understand your vision. Massachusetts, wasting energy convincing someone why your dream matters when they were never meant to see it. That's energy you could have used working on goals, developing skills, or maintaining focus. Some negativity isn't direct, not outright criticism, but subtle dismissive remarks. Someone might laugh at your dream, roll their eyes, or say, that's nice, but can you really do it? These small doubt moments, repeated enough, gradually wear you down. Even with initial confidence, constant skepticism exposure makes you question yourself. Limiting negativity exposure isn't preference, it's necessity. Another energy drain is constantly needing explanations. You don't owe anyone justification for self-improvement. You needn't explain why you're socializing less and building more. You don't have to prove your dream's worth. Every self-explanation gives away energy reserved for execution. Truths. Some people don't want explanations. They want to slow you down. They want conversations that create self-doubt. You might notice some people only support you while you remain at their levels. The moment you surpass them, they become distant or resentful. It's not personal, it's human nature. Massachusetts, growth reveals who truly supports you versus who is only comfortable when you weren't threatening their self-image. Notice reactions to your success. Do they celebrate or go silent? Do they uplift or make aggressive comments? Their responses reveal everything about who deserves your energy access. Your energy is limited. Massachusetts, you can either spend it proving yourself to people who'll never understand or invest it building your desired life. More time wasted on negativity means less time for progress. More entertaining doubts means less room for belief. People who truly support you won't need explanations. They'll see effort, respect boundaries, and celebrate success instead of feeling threatened. Cease talking, begin acting. Energy is among your most valuable resources. Do you wake with limited mental, emotional, and physical energy? How you spend it determines life quality. Massachusetts, most people don't protect their energy. They waste it overthinking, explaining themselves to irrelevant people, and engaging in growth, inhibiting distractions. If you're serious about achieving objectives, start treating energy like precious resources. Once spent, it doesn't return. One major energy drain is constantly explaining decisions. Massachusetts, you needn't justify focusing on yourself, setting boundaries, or choosing different paths. The more you try making others understand, the more exhausted you become. Massachusetts, not everyone is meant to understand your journey. That's acceptable. Instead of seeking approval, redirect energy into action. People who truly support you won't need explanations. They'll see effort and respect choices without questioning. Another energy waste is engaging with negativity. Toxic conversations, Massachusetts, unnecessary drama, or constant doubters. Every moment spent on negativity steals from your progress. Be selective about attention recipients. Massachusetts, if something or someone leaves you drained rather than empowered, step away. Protecting energy means being intentional about focus investment. Overthinking is another silent energy thief. More time spent analyzing, doubting, and second guessing yourself leaves less energy for action. While planning matters, nothing changes until you actually do something. Massachusetts, instead of overanalyzing every step, take the first one. Progress comes from movement, not endlessly thinking about potential problems. Most people talk more about objectives than work on them. They get excited about plans, share ambitions with everyone, and spend hours discussing future actions. Here's truthing. Talking about dreams doesn't bring them to life. More time spent explaining goals means less time executing them. Success doesn't come from announcements. It comes from effort. Massachusetts, constantly discussing plates, false achievement sensations. When you say, I'll start a business or I'll lose weight, your brain provides small dopamine hits, making you feel accomplished already. It tricks you into thinking verbalizing intentions equals making progress. But saying you'll do something and actually doing it are completely different. Massachusetts, discipline over distraction. Another reason people talk instead of act is craving validation. They want reassurance about correct decisions, vision support, excitement, and belief. Massachusetts, but harsh reality, not everyone will believe in you or be supportive. Some will doubt you, others won't care, and some might try talking you out of it. If you base motivation on others' approval, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You don't need validation to chase dreams. You need discipline. Every time you talk about objectives instead of working on them, you delay success. Action separates dreamers from achievers. Consider successful people you admire. They didn't reach their position by discussing plans. They got there through work. They moved quietly, letting results speak. Massachusetts, that's what you need to do. It's easy getting caught in productivity illusions. You feel progressive just by researching, planning, or discussing next moves. But none matters without action. Planning is important, but eventually you must stop preparing and start executing. Don't get stuck in overthinking and over-explaining cycles. Start taking forward steps, even small ones. Silence is powerful. When you stop discussing every move, you remove unnecessary pressure and distractions. You give yourself space to focus completely on work instead of worrying about others' opinions. You stop seeking external validation and start trusting yourself. You stop wasting time convincing others and start proving it to yourself. Success doesn't require permission. It requires action. Another silence advantage is protecting momentum. When you talk too much about objectives, you expose them to doubt and negativity before they can grow. People will project fears onto you, explaining why it won't work, why it's risky, why you should be realistic. Without care, you might start believing them. But staying quiet and focusing on work keeps momentum strong. You build confidence through action, not words. Massachusetts, talking less and doing more keeps you accountable. When constantly announcing plans, it's easy feeling progressive even when you're not. But keeping objectives private leaves no space but proving through action. No one's watching, expecting updates. Just you and the work. That's where real growth happens. Consistency above all. The most successful people don't waste time explaining themselves. They don't wait for perfect moments, plans, or approval. They simply start. They focus on execution, consistency, and daily improvement. Because of that, they win. That separates successful people from those who only dream about success. Which will you be? Discipline is success's foundations, yet most struggle because they allow distractions to control their lives. Today's world overflows with distractions, social media notifications, endless scrolling, and valueless conversations. Every distraction loses focus on what truly matters, delays progress, wastes time, and makes goal commitment harder. To achieve anything meaningful, you must prioritize discipline. Most distractions are self-imposed. People don't just get distracted, they allow themselves to be pulled from what they should do. It starts small. You tell yourself you'll check your phone for 1 minute and suddenly 30 minutes pass. You open social media for inspiration but start comparing yourself to others. Feeling discouraged and losing motivation, you sit to work but end up responding to messages that could wait. These moments accumulate and your day disappears with nothing meaningful accomplished. Discipline means controlling time and attention. It's deciding what deserves focus and eliminating what doesn't. The world's most successful people don't have more time than you. They use it differently. They don't waste hours on distractions. They set clear priorities, create routines, Massachusetts, and maintain them. They don't rely on motivation because motivation fades. Instead, they build habits, keeping them on track even when they don't feel like working. That's the difference between success and failure. Social media is among the biggest distractions. It's designed to keep you hooked, make you scroll endlessly, and fill your mind with noise. While it can be a learning and networking tool, for most it's just distraction. More time consuming others' lives means less time building your own. For success, you must control social media use, set limits, unfollow uninspiring accounts, use it intentionally instead of mindlessly. Another major distraction is seeking quick rewards. People get caught up in short-term pleasures, watching TV, playing games, or endlessly browsing the internet because these provide instant gratifications. But success doesn't come from quick wins. It comes from consistent effort over time. Discipline means sacrificing temporary pleasure for long-term results. Massachusetts, it means choosing to work on objectives even when it's not enjoyable, even when you'd rather relax, even when no one's watching. The only way to see real life change is staying consistent. Most people start strong. They set objectives, create plans, and feel motivated initially. But as time passes, motivation fades, obstacles appear, and excitement wears off. Massachusetts, this is where most quit. They tell themselves it's too difficult, taking too long, or maybe it wasn't meant for them. But truth, success isn't about being smartest, most talented, or luckiest. It's about who stays committed longest. Consistency separates goal achievers from dreamers. Anyone can put in effort for a day, week, or months. But can you continue when no one's watching? Can you stay disciplined when results aren't immediate? Can you push forward when nothing seems to work? These questions determine your success. Massachusetts, most people quit right before seeing results as they expect instant gratification. They don't realize success is built through small, repeated actions over time. When you stay consistent, you build momentum. It's like pushing a heavy object. Initially, it takes effort to move, but once rolling, it becomes easier to maintain. Most people never push long enough to see that momentum. They stop and start, lose focus, then wonder why they aren't progressing. The key is showing up daily, even when you don't feel like it, even when tired, even when not seeing results yet. That creates real change. The biggest mistake is relying on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. If you only act when motivated, you'll never stay consistent. The real secret is relying on discipline and habit building. Massachusetts, when something becomes habit, you do it without overthinking. You don't wake up debating whether to brush your teeth. It's automatic. That's how you need to treat objectives. Make actions so consistent they become daily routine parts. Success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. Every choice either moves you closer to objectives or keeps you stuck. The question remains, which will you choose?